If you have been watching my channel and you keep hearing me say orcs, warg, wog, boys, and all of this stuff, and you have absolutely zero clue what any of this means or little to none, then this video is for you. I'm going to break down exactly who the orcs are, how they play, and why I personally chose them as my first army. No experience required. Let's get straight into it. So first things first, who are the orcs? Orcs are a warlike alien species in Warhammer 40k that live for one thing and one thing only, fighting. They are a fungal-based species that reproduces rapidly, and they are driven by an incentive desire for battle above everything else. That's it. That is their whole vibe. That is their whole thing. They don't have a grand plan. They don't have a political agenda. They just want to fight everything, all the time, forever. And honestly, respect to that. Now here's the part that I think is actually really cool about orcs. And this blew my mind when I first heard about it. Orcs believe something works, so it does. This belief actually affects their weapons, vehicles, allowing crude machinery to function far beyond what should be physically possible. So basically, if enough orcs believe that painting their vehicles red makes them go faster, they actually go faster. That's insane. That is not how physics work, but this is Warhammer 40k, and I love it. Now let's talk about the WAAAGH. The WAAAGH? Because you are going to hear this word a lot on this channel. Orcs travel the galaxy in massive warbands known as WAAAGHs. Huge crusades of destruction, where orcs gather in massive numbers to fight everything in their path. Think of it like the biggest, loudest, greenest road trip in the universe, except instead of shopping at gas stations, they're shopping to destroy entire planets and civilizations. And the bigger the WAAAGH gets, the more orcs it attracts, which makes it even bigger, which makes it even more unstoppable. It's basically a snowball of violence, rolling across the entire galaxy, and it does not stop for anything or anyone. Now, the most famous orc in all of Warhammer 40k, and this is actually relevant because he is literally in the new Armageddon box, is Gralzal, Mag Urak, Thraka. The Orks of Warhammer 40k hail Gralzal. As the prophet of orc gods Gork and Mork, he leads the Great WAAAGH and has been spotted across multiple war zones in the galaxy. And yes, I am sorry in advance for how I am probably butchering these names. I am a beginner. Give me some grace here. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about how orcs actually play on the tabletop, because this is probably why a lot of you are watching. The other half are probably interested in the lore. Orcs are an aggressive army with a variety of playstyles. You can run waves of boys fleets of speed freak vehicles or herds of beast snaga squids. Basically, you have options, a lot of them, but the core of every orc army is the same. You are bringing a lot of models, you are being very aggressive, and you are charging into the enemy as fast and as soon as possible. Orcs can put a staggering number of grots and boys on the board while still having points to spare for bigger and nastier things. So, if you like the idea of just flooding the table with models and overwhelming your opponent with sheer numbers, orcs are your army, which is why I chose them, or part of the reason. Now here's the part that I personally think makes orcs the perfect beginner army, and it's actually something I did not know when I first picked them, but it was a bonus. Orcs are among the most forgiving armies to paint. They're scavenged, ramshackled. This means they have a rough paintwork that actually looks intentional. Let me say that again. If you mess up painting an orc, it still looks correct, because orcs are supposed to look rough and ugly and beat up and even janky. That is their whole vibe. As a beginner who is still learning to paint, that is music to my ears that I can mess up and it will still look amazing. And then on top of all of that, the new 11th edition Armageddon box is bringing brand new orc models, new boys, new boss snob, new weirdo boy, all of which I covered in a previous video. So if you're thinking about starting orcs right now, is genuinely one of the best times to do so. So, in conclusion and to summarize, orcs are a fungal alien species that exist purely to fight. They are led by massive war bosses. They travel in giant destructive WAAAGHs across the galaxy. They are aggressive and horde-based on the tabletop, and they are one of the most beginner-friendly armies to paint in the entire game. That is why I picked them, and honestly, I have not regretted it for a single second. If you're new here, my name is Zach, and this is Warhammer Zone, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.